Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm just going to give it, as normal, a couple of minutes for more people to turn up, and then we'll get started. We've set the settings onto mics on mute and cameras off, but if we have questions, which we will have at the end, then we can turn those on for you. Thank you. I'll come back to you in a minute or two. Okay, everybody, I think we'll get started. I want to make sure that we utilise all the time, and I know how busy everybody's calendars are. So just to introduce myself, my name is Rosie Turner. I'm Head of Digital and Marketing for Spearfish Security. And today we have our lead trainer and responsible for heat, first aid and security management training, Alexi, to give you today a training seminar on how to cope with the extended blackouts. Just a reminder that this seminar is going to be in English. So but we will be recording it and we will be sending it out to other people. Alexi's already done this seminar for a couple of our clients, and it's proven to be not only useful, but giving some information that perhaps people didn't know before. So just a little bit of a background on Alexi before I hand it over to him. Alexi is a qualified trauma medicine doctor who qualified from Bukovian State Medical University with over 6 years of experience on ambulances before joining Spearfish. Alexi worked for the Dnipro Regional Centre of Emergency Medical Care and Disaster Medicine, and also organised medical evacuations from the front line as part of an NGO with Spearfish. Alexi has helped deliver training to over 3,000 students since 2023. Alexi is also a keen bushcrafter, spending much of his free time in the field, whatever the weather, testing out new kit, honing his survival skills. I also should mention Alexi is a very keen fisherman, something that we're all privileged to hear about after most weekend trips. The situation in Ukraine with the disrupted power, heating and water led Alexi to develop this new training module, mixing the bushcraft he's learnt over the years into the urban environment to help make daily life for the rest of us more operable and sustainable. So as I've said, Alexi's going to give you his seminar now. It will last about 45 minutes, and then there's the opportunity to ask him anything you want afterwards. Okay, Alexi, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Rosie. First of all, hello all. I'm really glad to see you all here on this webinar. It's mean you understand in which condition we are now in Ukraine, and unfortunately it's our reality, and I will be liar if I will say you the situation will be better tomorrow. So we need to be ready for the long winter, for the cold winter, and first of all, after this webinar, I hope you will find some new, interesting and necessary information for you. So let's start, guys. I will share you my screen. Rosie, please confirm, is it work?
Absolutely.
Thank you. First of all, I really wanted you will understand that I will not teach you how to survive in a wild world, because of course we still have some comfort life. Okay, we have some discomfort, but we still live in a cities, in a villages. We live in our flat, we live in our private house, etc. And we just need to understand how can we prepare our houses for the long winter period. The general goal is good to have an advantage over other victims, but it's better not to be among the victims. This case gives you a reason to understand when will you go out from your flat and relocate, or you can stay there and just preparing for next situation. The difference between scheduled shutdown and the total blackout continue more than 72 hours. And that's mean all of your charging station, all of your power banks after this period will be discharged. And you need to understand what to do next. Why it happening? Why the electric station is one of the basic targets for the enemies. Of course, first of all, it's a high concentration of the critical nodes. It's not only about Ukraine context, it's about all of the world, because every country with electricity have a lot of thermal power station, hydroelectric station, nuclear power station, power lines, etc. Its difficulty and duration of recovery, cascading effects of outages. It's mean there is a lot of critical infrastructure which depends on power, on electricity. And you know that when the electricity off, the next will be water, gas, heating in your flat home, unfortunately. Easy targeting of power infrastructure, dependence of other critical sectors of power infrastructures, physical and social effects. As you know, on a spring and autumn period, a lot of people feel season depression. Now it can be in a summer or winter, of course, because it's less lights in our life, and the impossibility of all autonomy of the country. So heating in the apartment. There is no point to heating a room that is not insulated or protect from the heat loss. And first of all, we need to understand, is your flat, is your apartment already prepared for the cold? And the first question is your home insulated? The next one, what minimum temperature have you recorded in your home? What weather is forecast? Do you have the finance to improve your home, for example, to insulate it, to buy some generator, to buy some power station like EcoFlow, etc.? What or who could suffer in there is no heating? For example, your relatives, your pets, your dogs, cats, etc. And what are the worst possible scenario? What are the worst possible conditions could be? Heat loss. Preventing heat loss is just as important and generation worms. In this block, we will talk about draft, how to protect and insulate windows and doors, walls, and your radiator. And we will start from the draft, and probably it will be a surprise for you, but there is a lot of space in your flat, in your apartment with huge drafts. The most interesting point, you can find the draft in near your sockets, so you can check it to use the cigarette lights and lighter and look at the flame. Is it will be straight? It's good. There is no drought, but it's if the flame will start to move, it's mean something moved the air near. So in this picture, you can find a few methods to protect your flat from a draft. Of course, if we talk about the doors, you can use the soft door seal. If you haven't it, you can make the improvised protection with a towel to make it in a roll and put it near your door or window. And of course, check the rubber seal and repairing it if it broke. Windows and doors. You need to understand, so now we will not talk about something very beautiful looks. We will talk about the thing which help to save the worm in your flat. And first of all, we will talk about the triple glazing. It's a piece of polyester which you can put on your window. It's not a screen protector from the shrapnel. It's like a plastic to make a barrier between the window screen and the space in your apartment. Of course, it's a bubble wrap. You can find it in a post office, and I'm sure you use it for the pack the parcel. And in your window, you can find the specific mechanism which you can change from the summer to winter position. Now you can find in a shop in a big building center like Epicenter, for example, most modern thing like winter thermal current and thermal current for the doors. It's protect the wind and it's protect the draft. The next slide show us that outside insulated is very necessary if we talk about unheating space. And first of all, we talk about the wall insulation, polystyrene blocks. I'm sure you saw it before on a wall outside the buildings. And of course, if you found the draft on your sockets, please close it and use not all of them. The radiator. Radiator is a device which can help you to have a heat, but in a case when the heaters will gone, the batteries, the radiator will be cold. So in this case, you need to use something like a reflector materials and insulate materials between the radiator and the wall. The next important block will be about the thermal zone. Now, a lot of companies, a lot of peoples started work remotely. And in this scenario, you need to understand that there is no reason to heat all of your flat because it's easier to heat only one room or heat your body. And this phrase from Tony Netter, imagine how it's important, warm the body, but not the room. So the thermal zone, you can make in your flat only two zones. First of all, it's a warm zone, living zone. I think it will be your bedroom, this place where you spend the most time, when you will sleep, when you will work, and when will be your where will be your animals. And the cold zone, it's all other space in your flat. It's a non-living zone, rooms that do not require heating or can be heated in a short period of time. For example, we talk about the dining room, about the kitchen. Of course, you can use something like boiling water when you cook the food, but be very careful because the hot water make the air wet and it will be a worse scenario than it will be dry because this wet will be colder. Home heating. This is the basic rules for you how to use this and what to use for the heating. First of all, use screens. As you remember, when we talk about the radiator, we talk about the screens. Heat accumulators. It's for example, salt in a socks, which you can put on a radiator when it works and keep the warm when the heat will off. or sand or fire bricks. Do not cover heaters. Please place heaters at least 1.5 meters from the bed. Buy the fire extinguisher and very important, know how to use it. Do not make improvised heaters. Do not use damaged devices and follow the instructions, of course. In this slide, you can see the most popular micro heaters and infrared heaters. The difference between there, so micro heaters you can use everywhere. For example, when you go from home to work or back, and the infrared heaters is most permanent. It's for heat the specific space in your room. But be very careful with infrared heaters. You need to understand that your flat need to have a good ventilation in this scenario. If we talk about the micro heaters, you can find in the first slide is a salt heater. It looks like a like this thing, and inside is a hyper solution with a salt and the small metal element. When you click it, it starts work. You can see like this fluid inside started to be like rock and make it warm. The next one is a chemical heater, the hot water heater, catalytic heater like a Zippo, or for example, you can use the USB electric heater, but the problem is when the devices will discharge, you will not charge it again. The dangerous heaters is first of all candles, the boiling water, the briquettes, the ceramic pot on a open fire, on a candle's fire. And on the right side of this slide, you can see the very horrible story when the one of the family lived in Kiev, leave the regular petrol generator in their flat on a balcony and didn't close the door, and unfortunately no one from them wake up at the morning, didn't woke up in the morning. Fire safety. The logic continue of our webinar will be a fire safety, because the real apocalypse begins when the first candle is light. What does it mean? First of all, when you think about that you need to use your candle, it means all of your other devices was discharged already. And in this time, all of your neighborhoods will think about it the same, about how to find the candles and use it. This is a statistic from the State Emergency Service in Ukraine for 2025, and the last point is very important. The total number of fires in Ukraine increased by 34% in 2025 compared to the previous year. It's mean the blackout make very bad situation with a fire in a country. In your chat, you can find two questions, Charlie, polls. Thank you. Please choose one of these variants, and one of the variants is do you have the fire extinguisher at your home? And now we will talk about what is a fire liability and the fire preparedness. Fire liability is responsible to use the fire extinguisher. You have fire extinguisher, you use the electric devices with understanding how it works, and the fire preparedness is understanding your neighbors around you have no fire liability. This photo is the real photo. It's from one of the Ukrainian cities. Someone want to make some food outdoor and use this grill outside his window. So I think all of you understand that this is not fire liability. So two different types of the fire extinguisher. First of all, it's a manual fire extinguisher. I'm sure you can find it in your car, but actually, in this time, you need to be sure that you have another one in your flat. And there is a lot of types of manual fire extinguisher. For example, it can be a powder fire extinguisher, the CO2 fire extinguisher, the foam fire extinguisher, water, etc. For example, you can use fire extinguisher with a powder for all kind of the fires. But if we talk about the fire in electric devices, you can't use the water fire extinguisher. So the best type of fire extinguisher at your home, I'm sure can be the powder fire extinguisher. And automatic fire extinguisher, it's a new device in Ukraine. The principle of work when the temperature near this automatic fire extinguisher will be near 70 degrees, it will explode automatically and extinguish the fire near. So now we will talk about the electricity, but I want to stop and ask you, do you have any questions about the how to save heat in your flat and about the fire safety and fire preparedness?
Thanks, Alexei. So if anybody has any questions at this point, they can either put them in the chat, in the QA, or just raise your hand. If not, Alexei can just move on to the next section and we can cover off afterwards.
Okay, Rosie.
Okay. You have a captive audience, I think, that just wants to keep hearing your lovely voice. So you carry on.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, guys. So let's continue. I think you understand that our regular life, which we have before the power cuts and the blackout, now is totally destroyed. And with the power cuts, we have some power supply priorities. For example, we will not use as regular for us, for our life, the wash machine, the microwaves, because it's a very powerful devices. And when the power cuts start and the blackout started, we need to understand which devices will be priority for us. And of course, for all modern peoples, first of all, we think about the connection. And first of all, it's your mobile phones and the old school but still work radio, FM radio, because this is the last thing for having the information from other world, and this device give you a chance to be not in a informational vacuum when the all other informational resources will gone. Next one is a light. Sure, you have a lot of lights in your flats, but be very careful with the quality of this light and check is it work correct. The next one is medical needs. You remember the COVID period, when a lot of peoples used the oxygen concentrator, and unfortunately, it's not only one medical device who needs the electricity. So this is the next priority in our power supply. And the other devices is the last prioritize in our list of electric devices. Electricity generation options. So it's very difficult question to say what's better, be in living in a flat or living out of the city in a private house, because city is like a big uh, social body. There is a lot of critical infrastructure, and it's a lot of chance to repairing if something happens with a critical infrastructure. But if we talk about your private house, you can easily use something like a regular generator or a solar panel. It gives you a chance to have a electric autonomy from the other electric infrastructure. But if we talk about the flats, of course, you can use something like a portable touristic solar panel or dynamo machine. You can find it in a last picture in this slide, and you can use your muscle to generate the power. This one is a new device in Ukraine, and this firm is one of the a lot of other. For example, this one is EcoFlow, and we will talk about the car alternator. It gives you a chance to charge your power station, your charging station very fast. For example, our 1 kilowatts charging station can be charged in 1 hour driving the car, because without this car alternator, it will charging nearly 8 hours driving the car. If we talk about your home, here is the few portable charging station, charging devices. First of all, it's a portable charging station. I'm sure you have or you heard about the EcoFlow, Blue Yeti, other portable charging station. They have a lot of good options. First of all, you can bring it to some other area. For example, you can bring it to your work and charge it from your generator at work, or you can bring it to the other areas with electricity and charge it and bring it to your home and charge all of other your devices. The inverter, the next one, is a permanent wall device. It's difficult to charge it somewhere else because it's a device which make on your wall with an anchor, and it's difficult to remove it from this wall. But this device give you a understanding that power changing will be automatically. And of course, the last but not least, it's power banks. We recommend you to buy or use power banks with the function pass through. It's mean you can charge your power bank and immediately charge some other device from your power bank. The next one is a multi-port chargers, and here we will talk about the gun charger. I will show you. It's devices like this. One of the great option to use it, you need only one socket to charge a lot of your devices. For example, these chargers give you a chance to charge 4 devices in a one time. Why we need to think about it and why we need to remember about it? Because when you have power cuts, long-term power cuts, you can use invincibility points. This is the government and non-government place with electricity, autonomy electricity, or water, hot water, for example, with the food and some other option which the government can give you when you need it. The actual map of this invincibility point you can find in Dia app if you are a user of this app, or you can find it in a Telegram bot or Viber bot in a the tech website. One of the last but not least is water and hygiene, because it's very easy to forget about these important points when the electricity shut down. So here you can find a pocket shower. It's a small packet with a sponge inside, and only one thing which you need to do is add a little bit water and it will make this sponge with a foam. It give you a chance to clean your body and feel better than before. And the last one is a powder. It's a talc. Talc give you chance to protect the moisture, because all wet on your body will make your skin colder. If we talk about the water, you need to remember that the water is one of the biggest resource, and you need to understand that you need to have a technical water and purified water in your home. For example, with emergency service in Ukraine, recommend to have minimum 2 liters of technical water per day per person, and minimum 3 liters drinking water, purified water per day per person. How can you purify it? How can you clean the water in your home? For example, you can use this touristic water filter. It's very small, but it's work very good. For example, this one can purify nearly 30,000 liters of water. And the other is a water purification tablets. Please read the instruction, read the prescription before you will use it. Because, for example, these pills, you can use one for 1 liter, and this one pill for 4 or 5 liter. Travel safety during a blackout. Very important topic, because the electricity cuts not only in your flat, but in outside the same. And me, like a driver, me, like a pedestrian, want to ask you, please use reflective tapes. It gives you a chance to be visible on the road and do not have a trouble when you go from your work to home, or from your home to shop to buy something, and it give chance to driver see you before the car crash will happens. Hey guys, this is all from my side. I want to ask you, do you have any question? Do you have any comments about this really important topic? Maybe you have some personal experience which you can deliver with us.
Thanks, Alexei. As Alexei says, please, if you have any questions, you can either put them in the chat or the Q&A, or raise your hand. Charlie's been putting a couple of polls on as Alexei's been speaking. So whilst maybe some people are thinking of some questions, Alexei, it might be worth having a look through those polls in the chat and giving us your opinion on some of the answers. So I had one question for you, Alexei.
Yeah.
Just a question about not just people who are living long term in Ukraine, but travelers coming in and out of Ukraine. What kind of things should they be thinking about? For instance, accommodation, hotel accommodation. Is there anything they can do to prepare themselves in advance of a trip?
Thank you, Rosie. This is a good question, really, because when you will travel to Ukraine, you need to be sure that your hotel, your apartment will have a autonomic generator. It give you the understanding that you will have power every time or most time which you will be in Ukraine. Actually, you can check in this map which I showed you before when you can charge your devices if the situation will be difficult with electricity.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? No? Okay, that's great. Alexei, again, thank you very much for your time this morning. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Hopefully, you'll find that incredibly useful. We'll make sure that, no, there has, yes, quick point about travelers. The bigger the PowerPoints can't be carried onto aeroplanes.
Yes, thank you for this question. And I can show you something like a option for your power bank. Not all power bank you can bring to the airplane, it's correct, but there is some protocols which give you a chance to have a power bank, because I will show you. Not on this device. So guys, I will send you this protocol, and if your power bank have this protocol, it give you a chance to have it in your flight. It will be not forbidden.
One other question that's come through from Katerina, Alexei, why do you not advise using bricks to heat the apartment?
Because a lot of bricks can crush when the temperature will be very high. Only one way for this, you can use these fire protective bricks, but the problem is you can lost the concentration and forget about these blocks on a own, and it will broke and make something like a shrapnel around you. There is a lot of unfortunately bad story with these blocks.
Thank you, Alexei. Oh, another question. You are recommending good ventilation. This runs contrary to ceiling heat leaks. How would you prioritize between the two?
Wait a minute. Trying to heat your space, yes, your flat. It's not about only heat your air. It's about to heat all of the furniture, all other thing which you have in your flat. And this short time ventilation, your flat give you a chance having a lot of CO2 or other product of fire in this closed space. So the fire brigades recommend if you use something like a infrared heater, make a ventilation of your flat every hour for 5 minutes every time.
Excellent. Thanks, Lexi. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, well, Alexi and Charlie are always on hand to answer your questions. And as I said, we will make sure that this recording is sent round to all of you. And so please pass it on to colleagues and people that you might think will find this useful. Thanks again, Alexei, for your time this morning, and thank you everybody for attending. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, guys.